Today, I will be sharing information from a piece called Twin City Outrage and Resistance by Randy First. Randy First retired from his role as a reporter at the Minnesota Star Tribune in 2025 after working there for 52 years. He begins by sharing examples of the fear that many Minnesotans are feeling in this moment, as well as some of the sacrifices that other Minnesotans are making in order to make sure that those community members that are living in fear are still protected. Then he points out how what Donald Trump has done is turn regular people, workers, students, and even business owners into protesters. And very importantly, he says, we realize that it is Minnesota today, but it could be your state tomorrow. He then moves on to point out the central role that the labor movement has played in meeting this moment in Minnesota. He also shouts out the new and fresh faces that he's seen in many of the actions that have happened in Minnesota recently. And very importantly, he takes the time to highlight the real courage that is shown by immigrants and other people of color in Minnesota that are still choosing to come out and protest for what is right, despite the immense risk that this brings them. And then he asks a very simple question that I'm sure we're all wondering as well, and that is, where do we go from here? He responds with, he doesn't know, but he does know that ICE needs to be stopped and their cruel deportations do too. He also says that our movement needs to stay disciplined and not be provoked. Because the Trump regime is trying everything right now to try to get the people that are doing what is right in Minnesota in trouble for what they're doing, and we know better than to fall for that propaganda. He then encourages us to continue using those big, legal, peaceful protests, kind of like No Kings, that you could take your family to. He encourages us, all of us, even those on the far left, that oftentimes like to critique that kind of protest, myself included sometimes. But he encourages us to stick with that kind of organizing in addition to the other things that we're doing because, and this is something I actually didn't know, but that is what the activists of the past did to be able to survive the Vietnam War period and to be able to get more people on board, and eventually it got to a point where the whole country, including the people that were serving in the war, were so against the war that it wasn't able to continue and be able to still have the popular support that it once had. And then finally, he says to rid our country of these ICE agents, we must not get frustrated and we must not let up. So I don't know about you, but after learning about that, I feel a whole lot more inspired, and I hope you do too. You can read the whole thing at this link and let us know what you think of this piece in the comments below.